I'm like, I sometimes look back and I'm like, I think I had more courage then than I do now. Like, I don't even like, sometimes when I feel lost, I'm like, where did that woman go? Like, I was just like, we're doing it, you know? I think in the back of my mind, I always knew like, I could go back to teaching. I could go and interview for a principal job. Like there's teacher shortages ever. Like I knew with part of me that wasn't going to be the end of the world, but I knew with a greater part of me that like I was not willing to be unhappy for the rest of my life.
You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am so excited you're here today. I am Sandy Patterson, your host and certified life and business coach. And I am extra excited today because I have Liv Chapman here with me today. This is such a treat for me, and I'm sure for you too. Liv is the CEO of Inner Glow Circle, which is IGC coaching school, which is the coaching school that I went for. And I literally, okay, Liv, I'll let you say hi. Say hi.
No, I love you. Hi. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
I'm
thanks
excited
for
to be here. Both former teachers. So
yes, I posted something about the podcast on Instagram, and Liv, like out of the blue, had randomly sent me a message and was like, I want to be on your podcast. And literally like less than 24 hours before, I had written like on my notes, like my vision board, whatever you want to call it, on my phone, I'm like, maybe Liv Chapman would want to be on my podcast someday. And then out of nowhere, here comes this message. I want to be on your podcast. So I jumped on it because I'm so excited to hear. Liv runs an incredible business. She's a former teacher, and I literally want to hear everything. So Tell us a little bit about you, Liv.
Well, for the record, I think I said this to you when I first met you. I'm like, teachers make the best business women.
Yeah.
And I think we got to start with that level of energy. I'm like, I have never met a teacher who didn't have like more grit, more determination, more like get shit done mentality.
Yep.
And all of your teachers who are, and I would say a lot of service or helping professions are probably like that, but teachers just make the best businesswoman, in my opinion. So
100%. I agree. I've always said this. I've said this from the very beginning. If you can teach, you can literally do anything.
Yeah. That was the hardest job ever.
Hardest job ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your story. I've heard bits and pieces of it, but I'm excited to hear it all the way through here.
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'll give a bits and pieces longer version, but I went to school to be a teacher, which I know I only say that because if you're in the teaching world, like a lot of people like, you know, take a little summer course and they do Teach for America or they do these things. Like I was full force, want to be a teacher, went to a teacher's college, got my master's in education. I was going to be a principal, and I worked in DC public schools for 5 years or 6. God, I'm forgetting my own story. And I was teaching in DC around the era of like Michelle Rhee and standardized testing. And I was very passionate school teacher, like living in DC, like we would go to rallies, like at the Capitol for like getting rid of standardized testing and pay for performance teaching contracts. I don't know if that was everywhere, but that was a big part of my experience.
Did you teach before testing?
No.
You came in And it was already standardized testing.
Yeah, it was like just getting started. I think the first year that I was there, they had done standardized testing, but not tied to teacher performance or pay.
I know you talk to those like rare teachers that are still teaching and they're like, oh, I remember back in the day before testing. It was like a whole different world, right?
Well, and even when I was a kid, I remember there being standardized testing, but it wasn't like your teacher got fired if you failed.
Right. Yeah.
And about my third year in, pretty much everyone at my school got fired. And I worked in a Title I school. Even our principal, like it was a whole makeover of the whole school. And we were in a very underprivileged neighborhood, not a lot of resources. And the first thing they did was take away our funding and get rid of a lot of teachers that had been staples in the community. And I'm like, this is not, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's so all ass backwards. Like,
yeah. And I remember thinking like, okay, at that point I was like, I have to be a principal now. Like I have to like become more powerful in education to be able to have any impact on this. So that's when I got my master's to essentially become a principal. And that was like a 2-year program, which I kept teaching, you know, throughout that time. But by the end of the second year, it was just, I was like just so checked out of it. And I know a lot of teachers think like, you know, it's behavior problems. And we had a lot of behavior problems in our school. Don't get me wrong. Like we had a lot of issues overall. Like there were break-ins, like we had gotten this grant for new computers and then the school was robbed and we had no computers again. And there was, you know, we had seen shootings in the parking lot and like we have kids coming to school with some serious trauma and I'm supposed to just put it aside and drill them on these standardized tests. Like our curriculum, because we were in danger because our students had done so bad consecutively year after year. So it was like everything was just like practicing for the test. And I'm like, I'm just not doing it anymore. And I like stopped doing it and I started just doing whatever I wanted, which I knew I was going to rogue. I was like, I'm going to get fired. But the irony of it was I was teaching 5th grade at the time and we were departmentalized in 5th grade. So I was teaching like English language arts and social studies. So I was really only graded on the reading tests that they took, the state reading tests. And somehow that year, like we read, but we didn't read just to answer multiple choice questions, you know, and we did a lot of other things, but I ended up realizing I couldn't do it anymore. Around March of that school year, I had met Katie DePaula, who's my co-founder in IGC. I hired her as a life coach because I was like, I don't know, I should go out, I should try to get a job as a principal, or should I stay teaching, or should I get the hell out of here? And I just didn't know what to do. And like, I would ask all my friends who are all teachers, or I would ask, you know, my dad, who was like, you're about $200,000 in debt from all of your education. Like, why would you leave? And I knew I wanted to leave, but at that point in my life, I was just asking everyone else what I should do. And Katie was the first person who really was like, what do you want to do? And of course I said, I don't know, for a good 3 months before I decided.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. And then a series of fortunate events later, I just ended up leaving. I end up saying, all right, I'm done. So I put in my notice that I'm leaving. I move with my then boyfriend a couple hours away out of state. I get a call in August, the beginning of August of the first year that I wasn't going back to teach, saying that I had been awarded a $25,000 bonus.
Shut up.
Because my students did so well on the state test. And I was like, is this an error? Like, we didn't even, like, I didn't try for that.
Yeah.
And they were like, the bonus is contingent on you coming back for another year. And I was like, I was at this choice where I'm like, I had just started my business. I had just moved. But like, that sounded like a lot of money to me at the time. I mean, that still sounds like a lot of money to me.
Yeah.
And I was like 26. I didn't know what to do. And I ended up not taking the bonus and staying in business.
You were like, screw it. Screw that.
Yeah. Everybody said it was the worst choice ever. Like, what's one more year? And I'm like, then I got unexpectedly pregnant like 3 months later. So I'm like, now I'm really screwed.
Oh my gosh. So like pressure's on here. And I'm curious, when you left, did you have like a backup plan?
Well, I had started after I had met Katie. She was like, you should, like, I had told her. So when I was teaching, I was also doing a lot of like after school workshops with teen girls. I had actually, because I had so many friends who were educators, I had actually like taken days off at some points and done these for money at other schools.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to be doing this. Like, I want to be talking about things that are more important. And, you know, she was like, you should turn it into a business. And she was like, it sounds like you're coaching. So I like went to this other coach training school because IGC didn't exist. And so I like spent that spring and summer, you know, like getting myself ready.
While you were teaching still.
Yeah. Well, then we went on summer break in May. So I was like hustling. And then I ended up moving to Delaware like in August and found out I was pregnant in like October. It was a whirlwind of a year. So that was 2014.
Pressure's on here. Yeah. Like you're pregnant, you don't have a job, you quit the job, you walked away from a big amount of money. Yeah. I just want to like point out that most people would do the opposite. Like we hold on so tightly to the safe choice.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that because I was on a walk the other day and I was listening to a podcast and I'm like, I sometimes look back and I'm like, I think I had more courage then than I do now. Like, I don't even like, sometimes when I feel lost, I'm like, where did that woman go? Like, I was just like, we're doing it. You know, I think in the back of my mind, I always knew like, I could go back to teaching. I could go and interview for a principal job. Like there's teacher shortages ever. Like I knew with part of me that wasn't going to be the end of the world, but I knew with a greater part of me that like I was not willing to be unhappy for the rest of my life. So
see, that's the thing again. And I've talked to so many teachers over the past year and a half, and most people just will hold on to that miserable piece because they're so scared of failing and they're so scared of what's on the other side or the unknown.
Yeah. And that's a hard space to be in. And I think when you're leaving that to start a business, we sometimes maybe underestimate how hard it's even going to be because not even hard, because I think it was easier than going to school every day. If I'm honest, it's a different kind of hard.
Yep.
But it takes so much time. It takes so much time. And I remember when I would wake up, I was so crazy. I would go to the gym at like 4:45 in the morning. I would be back to my apartment by 5:30. I would work on my business for an hour and then I would drive an hour to commute into DC to work. And then I would come home and most nights I would fall asleep with my like laptop still on my chest. Yeah. And like I did that for a good year, just working nonstop. I was babysitting in the background, pet sitting in the background. I mean, there were times I would just sell random stuff in my house to have extra money. But if I didn't do that, I would still just be...
You'd still be doing that.
Yeah.
With your kids until you'd probably be miserable.
Well, and I'd probably be poor.
Miserable and poor.
I hate to say it, but I'm like, God, especially now. And like, I don't even think that's survival. And I'm not with my kid's dad anymore. Yeah. So I'm like, one income that's like 40 grand a year, 50 grand a year.
Yep.
No,
thanks. But again, like
I have a lot of respect for teachers. I love them. And I still would substitute teach at my kid's school here and there and volunteer as much as I can because I believe in education, but I'm not a martyr.
Same. That's a piece of my story too. I was like, you know what? I am miserable. I am not showing up as the mom I want to be at the end of the day, as the wife, the person, the daughter, just the friend I want to be. And me staying isn't going to change anything. It literally is going to change nothing. And I didn't want to, just know, like you put your foot down. But again, most people will hold on so tightly. Yeah.
Well, you know what else I realized? Because my thing about education, I actually didn't mind the bad kids. I mean, I think I'm raising a couple kind of bold bad kids, but like, I was not a bad kid. I went to Catholic school. I was very good, but I challenged everything. But it was never the kids. It was the structure of it all, the policy, like politics of education is where it's like, I don't think like ultimately schools were created for human success.
Yeah.
And what I realized in being so involved in educational policy back then, I think just by nature of living in DC, because when I lived in New York, it wasn't as much like that, but I was like, the people who pull the strings are the people with money. And
Exactly.
even now, I'm like, if I want what I want for my kids at their school, I have to be the biggest donor. And there will be some people that disagree with that and they think it's ass backwards, and it is. But if I don't play the game, I don't get what I want, and my kids don't get what they need. So I guess this is people might hate me and delete or not listen to the podcast anymore after this, but like, we live in a capitalistic society, and it's kind of like, if you want to have any influence, it takes bigger pockets to do that. Totally. And I would rather make more money and put it into things that I believe are genuinely impactful and important and create better humans than just accept the broken stuff that we have, because I don't feel like putting in any more effort or something.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love that. Love it. Love it. And I couldn't agree with you more. So I have a question for you. So when you left, right, like baby Liv was leaving teaching and oh shit, I don't know what to do now. Were you always so confident though that you could make money? Because yeah, that's what I'm saying. Most people are like, no way. Like that's not possible. It's not possible for me. I'm not whatever enough. I'm not this enough. Who would ever do this? Like who would ever pay me to do this?
I was like a pregnant, unmarried 26-year-old, which is not that bad. I mean, but I think the naivete, however you say that, was actually helpful. Like when I learned like the business structure possible through coaching, I was kind of like, oh, if I had 4 clients, I would be making more than I'm making now. Like, why wouldn't I try to do this? And I didn't have these dreams of like, traveling all around the world or like living in Bali, or I just wanted to like have more than, I didn't want to have $5 in my bank account at all times.
Right. Right. Yeah. And support your kids, your unborn child.
Yeah, at that point. Exactly. So, I mean, I was scared. I don't know that I had enough confidence. I think I was almost a little bit like naive, and then it wavered. I don't know how to describe it. It was a roller coaster of a year. But once I knew what to do, like once I actually like had a sales coach and a business coach, and like, because creating the content, and I'm sure this resonates with you, creating the content, doing the service of coaching or supporting others, so natural, so easy. Yes. Coming up with different master classes and content ideas and workbooks, easy. We did this all the time.
Yep.
It was the sales and business part, for me at least, that was my biggest, growth edge. But I realized that if I could fill that gap or just learn those skills, I would have the full thing. And I think for me, obviously getting to work with Katie, who was great at business and sales, and that's all she had ever done professionally and even in her family's company. But she didn't have the teaching and training thing. That's how we originally like brought our minds together. Her curriculum was like hysterical. Like when I first saw it, I was like, this isn't curriculum. This is like ideas. Like it's like free. It's a journal,
Right. And you're like the dream team.
Yeah. I think you have to, I had to really humble myself too and say like, these are the gaps that I have. And if I don't invest in them, then it's over. So,
but again, going back to this, you were willing to do it, and it was probably not easy, and it was probably scary. Like, what if I invest and what if I fail? What if I do this and it doesn't work? Like, those are all so prevalent in people that are just starting out or taking a big leap, right?
Yeah. And I think there's just been certain things over the years that have stuck in my head. Like, I remember someone saying that like, business is really like a game, and it's just a matter of like moving the pieces in the right direction. And like, I don't remember. I think of like, I don't know, chutes and ladders. Like sometimes you go up, you go down, but you can always make it to the top. It just requires a few different moves. And also, Katie had said to me once when I was just like, I think this was after I had done like so many sales calls. I just sucked at them. I was afraid to invest in any type of sales training or sales coach. And I was like, I don't know. I think I'll just like go back to teaching or be a substitute. And she was like, what if there was no plan B? Like, what if you just took plan B off the table? What would you do? Like, if you were certain about the outcome and you knew that this was already going to happen, would you, take this course, or would you make this investment? And I was like, 100%. And she was like, well, just go into it with that energy.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know. I mean, I started so slow. I had a couple clients that I had just were referrals and all of that, making a little bit of money. But once I learned the actual skills of marketing and sales, I would say mostly sales at that point. Marketing, I just talk a lot, so that was easy. But I mean, I did double my teacher salary in the full first year.
That's amazing.
Only in one-on-one coaching.
Just doing one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
So good. So I've heard you say this before. I totally agree. You're like, business is not actually hard. Like business is actually easy. So what is the hardest part?
The hardest part, I think, is getting out of your own way.
Yes.
I think the hardest part is being like, am I willing to put this much time, money, and effort into something that feels scary? I don't even want to say something that could fail, because I genuinely don't think that if you have a product that fills a need or a service that fills a need, that it can fail. I mean, I just see the wildest stuff being sold online. Like, I sent Samantha, or Samantha, she's a friend of ours, I guess you could say, colleague. Yeah. I sent her this thing the other day, and it was like, this woman on TikTok charges you like $5,000 for her to help you name your baby.
Oh,
and I'm like,
God.
you can sell anything if it fills, if you can explain the need that it fills. So absolutely. I don't even remember what you asked me. I think you asked me like, if
what's hard, and you said getting out of your own way.
Yeah, getting out of your own way and like trusting yourself is hard.
Yeah, it's that mindset, right?
Yeah.
It's all about the mindset.
Yeah. And I think mindset is the foundation of every function of business, right? It's what you say, how you show up, how you sell, how you market, how you position your offers, all of it. Like, and especially with women, I'm sorry, but like, we're just not good at faking energy. We're just not good at it. Like, I can tell when someone's off by their tone, by how they post on stories. I can tell if an offer is aligned. It's all energy. And like, we have to guard ours and protect ours and keep it very aligned. Like, that's something that we have to do daily as business owners.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So, question for you. I've talked to a lot of people who are in like the beginning phases of starting their businesses, and I hear this often. I hear, this isn't working. This isn't working. I don't think this is working. What would you say to them?
I would say that complaint is the lowest form of responsibility. Like, what can you take responsibility for?
Oh.
Like, get real with yourself. Why isn't it working? What's not working? Are you even clear on that? Because people think if they're not making money in their business, that their business is broken, when in reality, there's probably a very specific function of their business that is not working.
Yes.
It's not the whole thing.
Okay, that's good advice.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, of course. So what would you tell someone that is like, oh, I'm in this, let's just say teachers. I'm a teacher. I'm miserable. I really don't want to teach anymore. I want to start my own business, or I want to become a coach, but I don't think I can do it. I'm too scared. What would you tell them?
Okay. I guess you're just going to be there forever. I mean, I would literally probably say something like that at first. Like, okay, so if you're too scared and you're not going to do it, that means 5 years from now, you're going to be living this exact same nightmare.
Like, are you okay with that?
Yeah. Are you okay with that? Or if you're really okay with that, then you need to get behind that decision. That's the whole thing. Like, if you want to feel good, you have to be behind your decision. I respect anyone that chooses to stay in a profession that they have dedicated their life to, or that like, maybe it's hard sometimes. But if they're like, if that's their choice, that's their choice, But if you really can't get behind that decision, then you have to get behind another one, because I actually think it's worse to be thinking about it and not doing it than just doing one or the other.
Yeah. And that can go with anything in life, right? Anything, a relationship, a situation, like whatever it is, like, okay, what are you going to do about it? Yeah. And I adore your like no nonsense, like cut to the point, like energy, right? Talking about energy. And I am, but also like,
I was still scared, but I needed someone to kick me in the butt too. And on a regular basis, like I need that kind of thing. But it goes back to like choosing your hard, which I know I've said, I think you've said, but life is just too precious to me to like keep making a choice that harms me or my spirit again and again and again. And I would rather be like desperately trying to do my soul's work than desperately missing out on my soul's work.
That's so good.
No,
that is so good and so true. Thank you.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was just going to say also, like, there's so many free resources. Like there's so many ways to just get started. And I couldn't quit my teaching job the second that I wanted to leave it. Right. I had a plan. Like I worked the two simultaneously, but I knew I was going to be no social life, very few friends, I knew that was going to be part of it. And I was like, would I rather have one really, really hard year of working 100-hour weeks because I convinced myself that I was certain of the outcome? And do you want to know the funny part? Like my goal at the time was like to be making $3,000 a month. That was more than I was taking home at my teaching job.
Yeah, I don't think that's funny at all. But just look like, I think it's awesome for you to be able to look back and like reflect on that and be like, look at what I thought was possible and look what I've built, look what I've created because I kept going.
Yeah.
Because I didn't let that fear stop me. And I just went. I decided and I went. Yeah.
And I think for me at the time, like setting the bar so low for myself made it feel possible, even though, the coaching industry was like 10K months, millionaires, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just want to make like $3,000 a month. Like it's not anything. But that was kind of the energy that made me see it as more possible because I could easily do the math. Like you need 5 clients. You need 5 clients, Olivia. Like if you can't find 5 people to work with you out of whatever billion people in the world, like you're not trying hard enough. Honestly, that's what I told myself. Yeah. Like 5 people, really? So, now I'm like set the bar so high, extremely high, because if I set it too low and I miss it, then I'll just be depressed. Now I set unreasonably high goals.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing all of this. I just love hearing other people's stories and their insights and there's so many gems in this one. So thank you so much. So before we go, tell me one thing that most people don't know about you, just for fun.
Oh my God. I've one of 5 children. I have 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Big Irish Catholic family.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm the black sheep.
You are, but you're rocking it though. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Liv. And if you are interested in learning more about IGC or becoming a coach or any of those things, I am always available to talk about that. We'll link all of the information in the show notes. You can also find Liv over at the 6 Figure Sales podcast. She hosts that. She's an amazing woman, one of my personal role models. And Liv, so happy that you're here today. Thank
you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for sharing. Yes. Okay. See you guys next time. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.